All right. So this should be all set. I'm looking at Lucas. Are we all set? Good. 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 Good to go. Right, time being 7:08, I call to order the July 19th Franklin School Committee meeting. Meetings are recorded by Franklin TV and shown on Comcast Channel 11 and Verizon Channel 29, as well as recorded by Franklin Matters. Any individual who also wishes to record this meeting must notify the chair in accordance with Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 38, Section 20F. So Pledge of Allegiance, we have no pledge students since the summer, so if everyone could stand with me, I will recite the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And as is customary, we will pause for a moment of silence. Thank you, everyone. All right. Routine business review of agenda. Does the agenda look okay to everyone? Okay. Payment of bills taken care of. Payroll, Ms. Stokes?
I reviewed payroll. It's in order.
Okay. We have no FHS student rep reports. So Superintendent's Report, Mr. Jagier, I will hand it off to you.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon / good evening. It's still daylight and bright out there. So I have 8 key areas I just wanted to bring up as part of my first Superintendent's Report. First, as part of the summer transition, I just want to thank our administrative team, the school committee, FPS staff, and Dr. Hearn for the ongoing support and assistance in transitioning into my new role as superintendent. And I appreciate the support that's been there for me. And I'm just excited to be here and to be in this role to continue to lead with all of you on behalf of the folks in Franklin. So as part of that, in July, I joined 22 other Massachusetts superintendents in the new superintendent induction program, which is facilitated by the MASS, which is the Massachusetts Association of School Superintendents, and it's in collaboration with the Department of Ed. The cohort meets bi-monthly and includes professional learning opportunities and ongoing support and mentorship. Another update, on June 25th, the Franklin Public Schools administrative team, made up of the principals, our assistant principals, our district central office administrators, all participated in an administrative pre-treat, as we called it. And the objective of that meeting was to reflect on the 21-22 academic year, review our new central office organization and structure, and then preview a draft of some strategic goals and their connection to the professional development plan for the upcoming school year. So this initial meeting with administrators occurred the day after school ended, and it's just worth noting the commitment and the effort put forth by our district leaders the day after school ended on the heels of a demanding year to come together. And one result of this meeting included our administrators committing to collaborative summer work in an area of interest or expertise or choice. And those 4 areas included student discipline, school safety, professional development, and social emotional learning, specifically for our advisory curriculum and how we can strengthen that. So that work is ongoing throughout the summer, and we'll be excited to share more information about the outcomes of those goals later on. The second half of that pre-treat, we had the Novak Consulting Group come in for some professional learning for our whole district administrative team, focused on universal design for learning as a framework to optimize teaching and learning, but also how it relates to the multi-tiered systems of support. So that idea of systems, so kind of linking the two, and you can expect more further detail later on. Another opportunity that we had on July 12th through the 14th, Mrs. Morano, Dr. Rogers, and I attended the 2022 Paul Andrews Executive Conference facilitated by the MASS, which was in Mashpee. It's a 3-day institute program for superintendents and assistant superintendents, where it contained keynote speakers, breakout sessions, regional meetings, and network opportunities for us to build our local network with local area assistant superintendents and superintendents, which we found quite valuable. Just a few areas of note. It opened with a keynote from John Dioria and Rob Evans, where they focused on self-care and well-being and reflected on this past year and how we'll move forward as an institution. Also, Dr. Ibram Kendi, one of the America's most foremost historians leading anti-racist work, was featured in a keynote conversation around anti-racist leadership. We also attended some sessions specifically focused on leading for equity, creating a multi-tiered system of support and implementation. And also we met as a regional roundtable with the superintendents and assistant superintendents who've joined. So it was really, really well done. I took a lot away from that. I know that it was just great to meet with colleagues and learn from other districts and some of the successes they've had in areas and take that back and see how we can implement it here. Our unified basketball, just an update for our students. As you may recall, in June, the Franklin High School Unified Basketball Program won the gold medal with the buzzer beater seen around the world in Orlando, Florida, and earning the national recognition. And since returning to Franklin with an escort from our police and fire, they've had 4 opportunities, and I'll just hit them quickly. They were invited to town council for tomorrow, on the July 20th for a proclamation. They've also they will be receiving a citation from the State House, and they are offered to go as a team and tour the State House. A representative athlete and partner was invited to attend the MIAA Board of Directors meeting in August to speak about their experience to other districts. And they've been asked to attend the New England Patriots training camp on July 29th to be recognized by the team and mass delegation, especially for unified basketball in that team. So we're excited for our athletes and our tremendous coaches, Lisa Berger, Jeremy Rice, and we want to thank them for the continued support and dedication of that program. Hiring, we've been busy hiring all summer. We're finding qualified candidates and we're excited about the educators we're bringing on board. We're in the final stages of hiring our K-12 director positions after Dr. Rogers came forward as assistant super. So we're in the final stages of those selections. And we have approximately 25 positions remaining, but they are in various stages of the interview process. And some just important dates to hit. Our high school experience for incoming 9th graders will be on August 9th and 10th. New teacher orientation is scheduled to begin on August 23rd through the 25th. The first day of school for staff is August 29th. The first day for students is August 30th. And the Labor Day Professional Development Day is Friday, September 2nd.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to formally welcome Dr. Rogers as Assistant Superintendent. We're very excited to have you here sitting at the table. So thank you so much. So I just wanted to go down the table, see if anyone has anything. Camille? Dave?
Yeah, first off, congratulations on the first superintendent's report over there. You talked about the K-12 director position and just about a lot of the changes. Dr. Rogers, we have over here as well. Could you just kind of elaborate on like the organizational structure of central office right now as it stands?
Sure. So you may recall from the district communications I put out around our assistant superintendent, Mrs. Morano, and Dr. Rogers. With MTSS and the framework, the way the work is really looked at, if I'm thinking of the pyramid, I'm making the symbol and realizing it needs some context. You have this pyramid for student learning, and we're trying to optimize our systems that I've talked about a few times. I say that word a lot, and people are tallying, I think, out there in Zoom land. But we're trying to look at student support, and that could be social, emotional, behavioral. It could be academic in the sense of supporting kids on one side of that triangle, and then our academic learning side of the triangle. So looking at both sides, how do we support kids behaviorally, social, emotionally on one area? And that's an area that we have Mrs. Morano overseeing, which includes our student services department. But in our minds, we believe that all student services fall into that category, and students need varying levels of support depending on where they're at. Similarly for academics, Dr. Rogers has taken that side of the triangle. The triangle is cut up a few ways because we would emphasize that equity should apply across all. The work that we do with our business department, technology, everyone has a hand in how that's supported, but those are the two main areas when we look at MTSS and the framework. If you were to Google it right now, that triangle would come up. So we thought it made the most sense to have two people who own each side of that triangle to help streamline the work and make it as efficient and effective as possible. So that's the decision making on that.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Sure.
Yep. So first of all, congratulations to both of you. I think this will be a great year. Looking forward to see what comes about. I guess I do have one question. I know it's really crazy that school's going to be starting very, very shortly. But have we defined what's our first day of kindergarten as of yet?
Yes, it is. It is August 31st. So we'll have a shortened kindergarten orientation on August 30th. It'll be like a 1-hour presentation. Same system we did pre-COVID. And then all kindergarten students will start on the 31st.
Great.
And notification will be going out soon.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'd just like to echo my fellow members. Congratulations all around. Thank you for the inaugural superintendent report, Lucas. And yeah, it's good to hear that their tenure is hitting the ground running with all this. Thank you.
Yep, just to, again, to echo, welcome everybody to your new roles and no questions.
Megan?
Yeah, congratulations, Dr. Rogers and Lucas. I'm looking forward to work with you. Congratulations.
Lucas, next we have our Franklin Education Foundation update from lovely lady sitting in the front row.
Yes. So at this point, if Roberta Trahan and Pandora Carlucci could come up to the mic, what we'll do is we can queue up a visual for the work. So just to lay the backdrop, I know that the FEF has been a partner to Franklin. You'll hear a little bit about the FEF. And for the folks at home, this is always a great opportunity. Folks tuning in who may not know, and I know you'll give some background, but we've been really fortunate in Franklin to have such a strong educational foundation that supports our teachers, and ultimately it's for the direct benefit of kids. And they do some tremendous work. We are extremely lucky. They're going to talk a little bit about the program and how it impacts our schools. And we have some slides that we can share to kind of go along with that. But I will kick it over to you both to just continue with this. So thank you for being here.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having us here this evening. I'm Pandora Carlucci. I'm here with Roberta Trahan, and we have been with the Franklin Education Foundation since the very first days. Tonight, we're going to give you a little bit of the history. We're going to give you an update on the past couple of years, and we'll tell you where we think and where we hope we're going in the future. That's kind of still settling itself. For those of you who don't know, the Franklin Education Foundation was founded in 1997. So this is our 25th year. And at that time, just to kind of bring you back, we had just opened the Remington Jefferson School Complex. The Helen Keller, Annie Sullivan was in the works. We hadn't remodeled and rebuilt the Horace Mann, built a new Oak, built the first early childhood development center, nor the high school. So a lot has gone on in 25 years in the town of Franklin, and it has affected education. And when that was happening and the new school complex was open, some members of the community came together and we approached the current superintendent at the time, Dr. Warren, and we asked him if we could come together with an organization that would support town-wide schools under the leadership of the Franklin School Committee. And so we worked for a year, and we decided that our funding would be to support the efforts, never to supplant the efforts of the Franklin Public Schools. And we would try to support initiatives in teaching and learning that there wasn't enough money in the traditional budget, and yet there were some creative ideas out there like empty bowls and ukuleles, lots of great things. So we had our game plan, and then we looked at fundraising.
And so our first efforts at fundraising were the famous spelling bees, and they were pretty famous. Those started in 1998. All the schools participated, teachers, administrators, they came in costumes, local businesses, the whole community really supported those spelling bees for many years. That was followed by trivia bees, followed by casino nights, and finally we ended up with the Wizard basketball games, which were actually quite good as far as fundraising was concerned, but then the pandemic hit. So unfortunately, we had to curtail that. And these fundraisers, as Pandora mentioned, supported our grant challenges that were open to faculty, staff, and administrators, and we offered them yearly through 2019. The last grant cycle was in 2019. Those grants were awarded in 2020. And believe it or not, because of many delays, mostly because of the pandemic, those grants were just completed in 2022. At this point, I will turn it to Pandora as far as our hopeful plan going forward.
We turn to our Day of Giving, which is the 4th of May, and which is also Horace Mann's birthday, who is our founding leader of public education. And the Day of Giving actually kicks off an entire month of giving. And since we didn't offer grant challenges, the board voted in 2021 and 2022 to make a donation directly to the Franklin Public Schools through the leadership team.
And so we will continue to focus our fundraising events on alumni and friends. We have also received some unsolicited donations made in honor of or in memory of a certain individual, which is always a lovely gift to us. And so it's a good fit with the alumni because we have been trying to raise funds townwide. So we feel like that, will hopefully be a good fit. So we're trying to develop our social media presence and other forms of communication that will eventually be that pathway between alumni community and Franklin Public Schools. So in lieu of distributing funds through the grants, again, we made these direct donations this year. And after 25 years of service, we're still honored to support faculty, administration, and eventually students. So at this point, I know that Dr. Javier and Dr. Rogers would like to show how the funds were used this year. Thank you very much again for having us here, and we're going forward, hopefully, to give more money as the years go on. So, or retire and have turned it over to some other folks. I don't know.
That's
Whichever comes first. That's a goal
too. But we're honored to be here.
Yes, we are.
Tonight, though, to show you have so much on your plate. The fact you gave us some time, we really appreciate it. And 2 members of the school committee sit on our board, Dave and Denise, and so that gives another link to of communication and supporting. We thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Did you guys want to do the presentation?
Yeah, we'll show
Okay.
a few examples of where the funds, what they went to. So do you want to?
Sure.
Have
Sure
Paula chime in
thing.
as
Well, I would start by thanking both of you immensely. We so appreciate the partnership and the work that you do for the Franklin Public Schools. We really, truly do. So yes, we're excited to share. So the first slide. So when we received these funds, we really wanted to think equitably across the school district and how do we disperse these funds throughout pre-K through 12. So first, the first area of focus was ECDC with the goal of providing some universally designing instructional spaces to ensure students all have equitable access to all physical spaces. So there were certain areas outside, specifically a garden space, where some students, it just wasn't easy enough access. So with the FEA funding, we were able to purchase mobile mats to allow easy access to those areas outside of in the school building. So we actually already have the mat at ECDC, so I'm excited to go over. I'll be there on Thursday to see, where exactly we're placing that. So very exciting. It's actually not the blue mat. In talking with Mrs. Kelly, she decided that it's needed to be the color of the sand around. So we purchased a brown one. I just couldn't find an image of it. So that was one of the ways some of the funds were used. At the elementary and middle school level, we've talked a lot about supporting students' social emotional needs, partly through some advisory at the middle school level, and then just through some general structures throughout the school day at the elementary school. So really with the goal to make sure students feel connected, have a place with one another. And really, a lot of the funds were used to support promoting this well-being in a particular program that we're using of Second Step. So we've used some funds to purchase materials at both the elementary schools and at the middle schools. And then lastly, we have a greenhouse project at the high school. And you can see here the goals of this is partly to enhance the science courses, particularly environmental sciences and some of the AP environmental science, and really upgrade some of the equipment that they're using. Particularly, some of the funds were used to upgrade the hydroponic systems, the vertical hydroponic systems that are used to be able to grow a diverse range of produce and native to different students' countries potentially that are eating in the cafeteria and things like that. So we actually were able to purchase 3 hydroponic vertical systems to equip the greenhouse at the high school. So really try to equitably, disperse the monies throughout. And again, we just can't thank you enough for your commitment to the schools and the students. Yeah.
Okay. Any questions?
I guess, Camille?
Thank you for your efforts as a teacher in another district. I've been the recipient of grants from our local education foundation, and it's such a wonderful program because you think of something really cool and really interesting, and you're like, there's no budget for this. And so your mind can be as creative as it wants to be, and then you can get the funding. I wanted to encourage people listening at home that I can say as a teacher, as much as I love all the coffee gift certificates, a beautiful end of year or appreciation gift is a donation to the Franklin Education Foundation. And I don't know, I checked on the website and I'm not sure if it's true, but I know that when I've had them donated at Natick, I would get a certificate saying that was donated in my name. So that would be really nice if Franklin did that too. So I know a lot of parents are always saying, what do teachers want for presents? Well, this is one option. It's a beautiful way to support the district, support the really creative ideas that teachers have. So I thank you for your efforts and support that.
That's a wonderful, wonderful comment. Thank you so much. You can go to our website. It's pretty simple to do. There is a donate button there. You click on it and you send it right through PayPal. And Pandora and I do acknowledge every donation that comes through. And I think your idea of a certificate, if the donation is made in honor of a teacher, would be a great thing to do. And we would be thrilled to do that. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much for the presentation and all you do for the community. Especially, it was kind of highlighted some of the more recent ones when we had the pleasure of visiting all the different schools. And I know over at ECDC, that was one of the concerns they were talking about was the lack of accessibility. And then I know Principal Hannah, he showed us the greenhouse. I felt like he kept passing it. And he was like, come back later. It's going to look fantastic. And to know that this is, a direct result of the incredible generosity. As a school committee, how can we help to kind of further this? I love the idea. I think, my kiddos' teachers are definitely going to be getting donations at the end of the year. But how else can we be able to help out?
Well, that's a really good question. As you can probably imagine, we have always tried to be very respectful of the local PCCs and the work that they do to raise funds for their individual PCCs. So it's kind of a fine line. You don't want to step on toes. You don't want to overdo something that they're already planning on doing. But what you do for us is just what we're here tonight presenting and what you're saying. Ms. Bernstein would be a great idea, and to just promote that among students and among families. At the time when we had the Wizards, one of the things that was done is that we would go out through the schools that this game was coming and that people could purchase tickets, and that was a huge boost to the audience and the numbers of people that came. So anything of that nature. And the other thing would be that we are trying desperately to make that alumni connection. It's been kind of difficult. Some of the classes in the past years tend to be a little bit groupy. They have their own things going on, but we're hoping with the more recent graduates, they may be a little bit more thinking outside the box and might understand the benefit of this. So that is what we're trying to do. And perhaps we could have some conversations down the road about some other things that we could do. So thank you for asking.
Yeah, absolutely. Please don't hesitate.
Okay, we
all right,
appreciate that. Thank you.
And Dave, also just, I know that Dave, as a board member for the Franklin Ed Foundation, during the month of giving, he'll come on and, remind people that during this month, please go on. But to, Roberta's point too, like we want to kind of keep it very separate, not very separate, but we need to respect the PCCs and the school funding. So
Absolutely. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So thank you for your 25 years of commitment. I mean, it's amazing. I can't imagine how much has been raised in that time and how much support has been given. So kudos for doing that and the longevity of that. Just so folks know, so your website is thefranklined.org, correct? So that they can learn more about that there. And I thank you all for the fundraising activities that have been done in the past. Those are very beneficial. Any insight of what might happen going forward, if there's any chance of bringing some of that back, like the spelling bee or the wizards?
That's a question for discussion. We would like to do all of that. First of all, there's two issues. One is health and safety. Holding a large indoor event, we're not comfortable doing that yet. And the second thing is it takes a lot of people to organize one of those events. And so we would look for a team of people to help us. So that's kind of important. And it circles back to your question, David, what you could do for us. I think one other thing is that many of us were very active in all the schools, K through 12, as our children moved up and through. And then when you step away, you still want to support, you still want to lend a hand. We're a good option for that. Mm-hmm. So if you know of parents and guardians or friends in the community that are interested, but they would like to support our schools across the board, not school specific, this is an opportunity to do that. It's a different kind of volunteering, and we generally meet about 5 or 6 times a year, usually in the evening. For the last 2 years, we've been meeting on Zoom. We hope to meet again in person. But if you know of someone, we are always welcoming new members. So thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Roberta and Pandora, for all your hard work and dedication to our community through FEF. And now, obviously, I'm a little biased, but it's truly wonderful. Just all that you have contributed, throughout the years to the Franklin Public School System, and how much FEF continues to contribute to our public school system. And just seeing these projects, the greenhouse at Franklin High. Like I took AP Environmental Science when my senior year at Franklin High, so it's wonderful to see these grants going to perpetuate the programs that I took part in and make them even better for the next generation. And then just a little plug, as Al mentioned, our website, but also we're on Facebook and Twitter, so people can check us out there too. So it's never hurts. So thank you again.
Please. We're so glad you're here. And this is another story of a phenomenal organization that's lived through COVID and sort of had to reimagine a little bit and struggle a little bit and, be flexible and pivot and all those other words that we use. And we're just so grateful for everything you've done over all these years for the Franklin Public Schools. And I think it's, I always appreciate the visuals in the presentation. And I think that helps us, we like to see where the money's going, whether it's our money or whether it's, coming from the FEF. And I think that it just warms our hearts to see, thank you, Tina, yes, to see where this is going. And it's exciting. And like Camille said, it's sort of out of the box ideas that wouldn't necessarily get into the budget, but are cool and creative and important in their own right. And then I think just to piggyback off something Alan said about, he can't even imagine the money that's been raised and awarded over these last 25 years. Does that exist? Not this moment, but is there maybe
What? No, I'm not gonna make them do math. No, no, you don't have to do it right now.
We have it.
Okay, maybe, it's okay. I don't need it right now.
It's around 425,000.
425,000.
Yeah. I have to put it up to 20.
That's
Generally between about 20 grand a year.
about 20 grand a year. Wow.
Give or take.
Oh, that's amazing. That's really exciting and just, our kids are so lucky.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Megan?
Yeah, thank you so much. It was a great presentation. And yeah, really think it's great that, that you both, have been doing this for 25 years. That's outstanding. Thanks again.
It has been such a pleasure working with the two of you over the past 3 years since I've been unofficially on the board. So just thank you guys so very much. Your work is so appreciated, and just keep at it, please.
I think we have a few more years.
I know. And we look forward to the next meeting. Thank you, guys. Yes, go. Yeah.
To my treasure, to watching.
Okay. We might be done by then, so.
Thank you very much.
Bye, Pandora. Bye, Roberta. All right. Discussion action items, we have none. Discussion only items, we have none. Information matters. Let's see. I want to make sure I go in the right order. So
Are we gonna get out of here before sunset?
right. Shh, don't miss it. All right. Superintendent evaluation, Elise.
We have no new updates.
Budget, Dave McNeil.
Our budget is not met since our last meeting.
Awesome. Policy.
All right, I got a lot to say.
What? No, you don't.
No, just our next meeting will be on August 8th at 6 p.m.
Nothing, community relations. Al, space needs.
No new updates as of right now.
Joint PCC, I'm assuming is.
We have about 12 hours worth of updates. No new updates as well.
Okay. SWAC.
Oh, not for SWAC.
Okay.
No updates for SWAC.
CPAC.
Yes.
Okay.
So the CPAC is having a family meetup this Saturday, July 23rd at 10 a.m. at Daisy Field. So it's a time to bring your kids and meet some other families and get to know the CPAC members and a way to get involved or just to play.
And that was at 10 a.m.?
10 a.m. this Saturday, July 23rd at Daisy Field.
10 a.m. All right, perfect.
Yeah.
All right. I don't want to just gloss over substance abuse task force. I'm going to assume we have nothing. We have not met. All right. DEI committee has not met. All right. Moving right along to consent agenda. Mr. Jagir.
Okay. So approval of minutes. I recommend the approval of the minutes from the June 14th, 2022 school committee meeting as detailed.
Okay.
I recommend approval.
Oh, nope.
Oh, go ahead.
We're going to do each one.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yep.
So is there a motion to approve the minutes from the June 14th, 2022 school committee meeting as detailed?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, we're going to do a roll call vote. Camille?
Yes.
Dave Callahan?
Yes.
Al Charles?
Yes.
Dave McNeil?
Yes.
Elise Stokes?
Yes.
Megan Whitmore?
Yes.
Denise Spencer abstains. Okay, so those are approved. Mr. Jagir?
I recommend approval of the executive session minutes from the June 14th, 2022 school committee meeting as detailed.
All right, is there a motion to approve the executive session minutes from the June 14th, 2022 school committee meeting as detailed?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, we'll have a roll call vote. Camille?
Yes.
Dave?
Yes.
Al Charles?
Yes.
Dave McNeil?
Yes.
Elise Stokes?
Yes.
Megan Whitmore?
Yes.
Denise Spencer abstains.
I recommend approval of the minutes from the June 27th, 2022 school committee meeting as detailed.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, roll call vote. Camille?
Yes.
Dave Callahan?
Yes.
Al Charles?
Yes.
Dave McNeil?
Yes.
Elise Stokes?
Yes.
Megan Whitmore?
Yes.
And Denise Spencer, yes. Okay, and the fourth one.
I recommend approval of the executive session minutes from the June 27th, 2022 school committee meeting as detailed.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All right, roll call vote. Camille?
Yes.
Dave Callahan?
Abstain.
Al Charles,
Yes.
Dave McNeil,
Yes.
Lee Stokes.
Yes.
Megan Whitmore,
Yes.
Denise Spencer, yes. Okay, approval of minutes, so approved. Mr. Jagir, we'll go on to B.
Okay, B, declare surplus. I recommend approval to declare the list of Jefferson Elementary books as surplus as detailed.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, roll call vote. Camille,
Yes.
Dave Callahan,
Yes.
Al Charles,
Yes.
Dave McNeil,
Yes.
Lee Stokes,
Yes.
Megan Whitmore,
Yes.
Denise Spencer, yes. All right. C,
I recommend acceptance of two checks totaling $2,217.14 as follows. Jefferson PCC field trips, $1,813.14. Jefferson fifth grade celebration committee supplemental supplies, $404.
is there a motion?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
roll call vote. Camille,
Yes.
Dave,
Yes.
Al,
Yes.
Dave,
Yes.
Elise,
Yes.
Megan,
Yes.
Denise, yes. All right, Lucas,
Music gifts, I recommend acceptance of two checks totaling $3,239.48 as follows. $846.48 for student field trips, and $2,393 for the Gate Middle School spring concerts for in-house enrichment.
is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, roll call vote. Camille,
Yes.
Dave Callahan,
Yes.
Al,
Yes.
Dave McNeil,
Yes.
Elise.
Yes.
Megan,
Yes.
Denise, yes. All right, final one.
I recommend acceptance of a check for $3,015 from the class of 1972 for scholarship as detailed.
All right, is there a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All right, roll call vote. Camille,
Yes.
Dave,
Yes.
Al,
Yes.
second Dave,
Yes.
Elise,
Yes.
Megan,
Yes.
Denise, yes. All right. Okay, so moving along, our consent agenda approved, done. Great job, Lucas.
Thank you. Thank you all.
All right, I'll do, okay. Still in beach mode. I don't have to get it yet. All right, citizens' comments. Are there any citizens in person or online who would like to make a comment on an item not on tonight's agenda and falls within the committee's purview? Give everyone a moment just to make sure. Okay. Am I allowed to make a comment? Yeah. I'm a citizen. I want to apologize to Ms. Morano for not also acknowledging her new role as Assistant Superintendent of Student Services when I had made the recognition to Dr. Rogers. So congratulations to both of you. And we're looking forward to working with both of you, and we're very excited. So thank you. Thank you. Right, Mr. Jagir, new business.
Okay, so next meeting, you can expect a hiring update, just to give a sense of where we're at. We're also going to have had our admin retreat will have begun around that day, so I'll probably provide an update on that progress, along with some of the other summer work that's happening. Also, our annual report. It's that time of year for that cycle for annual reporting. So there'll be some information around that. And our presentation schedule. You should look at what that will look like for the upcoming months.
Perfect. All right. So time being 7:45. Is there a motion to adjourn the July 19th school committee meeting?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? All right. Thank you very much, everyone. We'll see you on August 9th.